This is the world's most popular plumber, at least to us in our own original real world. Oh yeah, and here's his brother. You could probably tell me what their first and last names are, including what they had for lunch this evening. Short and to the point, the Super Mario Bros. Are the most popular video game characters since all of history has been created. They've been around for more than 30 years so far, and even their first game is still considered a cult classic. Even to this day, they're still redefining the genre as we speak, in every single way imaginable except for movies. There was a Mario Bros. Movie before, but it was terrible and nobody likes to talk about it, even Nintendo. So when it came time to craft the next Mario movie that would set to redefine his entire stardom within movies, but this time they were going to have as much control as they possibly could over the characters and the brand, making sure that they were working with the studio that they wanted to work with and that they were only getting the best of the actors that they could pick, to the point where Chris Pratt basically playing Mario has already been memed to death because of his involvement with so many other different types of animated properties, including even non-animated. This is all genuinely off the top of my head in regards to what I remember when this movie was coming out. And also, hold your mushroom hats, because I'm gonna say movie like a lot of times in this video. I mean, heck, how many times do you think I've uttered the words with the letter M so far in this video? But genuinely, as we associate the word Mario with classic plumber that honestly owns billions of the share market value in regards to video games and media empires, within the context of this featured film, Mario and Luigi not only are just starting off as plumbers, but they have no real grasp on the idea of how to actually run a successful business, let alone a trade business in plumbing. I mean, for God's sakes, they invested their entire life savings into one measly commercial. Turns out within the context of this movie, they started off actually as a wrecking crew with Spike being their main boss. Mario and Luigi in the context of the film are honestly working from the bottom up. The only problem is trying to figure out how to get up, because in reality, since they've left their stable jobs and now they're basically within their 30s, they still live with their parents, and also too, Mario and Luigi's dad is a very big critic when it comes to this stuff.
The world laughed at Da Vinci too.
I'm not sure they did, Ma. Dad, what did you think?
I think you're nuts. You don't leave a steady job for some crazy dream. And the worst part, you're bringing your brother down with you.
Well, thanks, Dad.
It's nice to know that they could lean on their family because they have so much there, but still, it does create a kind of insecurity within Mario because he's the older brother of Luigi. In short, yeah, they're basically man-childs. They have no ability of actually garnering their own successful career and path in life because of all of their setbacks. This is not to say that it's impossible for them to be successful, because regardless to how long it ever takes, the only reason why we're watching at this point and they're still trying their very best to achieve their dreams is because simply Mario just never knows when to give up. It's very easy to see that Luigi mostly relies on Mario's strength because he's kind of a coward. But one of the most interesting things that you will find about these two brothers is that when it comes to protecting each other, they both take the initiative almost all of the time. There are definitely times where Mario doubts himself, and there are definitely always times where Luigi doubts himself. But when it comes to sticking up for one another, they absolutely relinquish themselves of their shackles and definitely become Super Mario Bros. Near the end. But might I say that Mario is always the Super Mario Bro, because regardless to how weak he actually is, and the very fact that every character keeps reminding him of how small and non-important that he is, Mario literally does not see that in his own ego, and literally tries his best to accomplish his own problems, regardless to how small he is in the face of danger.
You know what? Make fun of me all you want, but you were gonna help me find my brother.
Mario.
Please?
Well, okay. Let's see what you're made of.
It's the biggest part about him that ends up impressing a lot of the other characters alongside everybody else. Now, when it comes to my videos and making reviews about them, I try my best to follow up with the story, but because it would just make copyright an absolute nightmare, I'm gonna try my best to correlate but seem kind of out of order, just so that I don't set off the censors. But let's start with a little plot synopsis, just so you understand what exactly happens within this movie.
Look back at me, I like that. She's so naughty for that set. I got sauce, she like that. Little me, interest pockets, split my cheek. Niggas biting tight on leave. Double pockets,
It seems that Bowser has taken the Power Star, and there was only one like it. There is no other, just one plot MacGuffin that makes you super powerful. That's when we end up finding out about Mario and Luigi and their hopeful, desperate attempts in order to create and structure their own path for themselves in their real world. They're New Yorkers, and as we all know, New York is the most funnest, best place to be, where the people are always happy and shining. Except for the dogs though, those dogs absolutely hate our guts. Soon enough, it seems that Brooklyn has a flooding problem, which Mario feels like destiny has finally called upon him and his brother to solve this and save Brooklyn. All behold, underneath the city lies a Mario pipe, I'm sorry, I should just call it a normal pipe, where it sends Luigi all the way towards Bowser's land and sends Mario skyrocketing all the way towards the Mushroom Kingdom. Shortened to the point, Luigi is now captured by Bowser, and Mario, with the help of employing Princess Peach and the Donkey Kong Kingdom, is now on a quest to save his brother. Upon the success of finally saving his brother and stopping Princess Peach from getting married to Bowser, because that guy is just simping so hard over Princess Peach, and honestly, can you blame him? Finally, through a large explosion with one of the pipes, ends up causing the entire Bowser Kingdom to fly in the face of the real world, ultimately acting as a last standoff between Mario and Bowser. In the last moments where Mario is feeling the urge to finally give up and that this may be the coffin for his bed, he is then once reminded of his commercial that he had made with his brother to finally save Brooklyn and be the very man who answers the call whenever someone needs him, thus perpetuating the characteristic that Mario just simply does not give up.
You just don't know when to quit.
Yeah, I've been told that before.
And inspires his brother alongside him when he is almost engulfed by flames by Bowser, but of course, his brother Luigi is there to protect him. With the help of everyone else and now being endowed with the power of the Power Star out of all things, they now finally stand a chance against Bowser and his army, finally dusting him into a small little creature put into a jar. Holy crap, that is the masturbation jar, you can't tell me any different. And yes, even his dad is proud to call Mario his son. And as for Luigi, the dog appreciates him and respects him now. Now he does, putting a close to one of our greatest video game adaptations of all time. It's a solid story and a solid plot, and when it comes to the way that the characters are written, they honestly couldn't have been written any more perfectly in response with their video game counterparts. Mario is very headstrong, he's very kind, but he also very much demands respect whenever there is somebody in danger and he needs to answer the call for heroics. Luigi is as much of a limp dick as he ever could be, and it's also pretty disheartening with the fact that he doesn't ever really develop out of it, except for in the moments where his brother absolutely does need help. His reliance on Mario makes him a little bit harder to actually enjoy as a character, but since this is actually at the forefront of understanding who Luigi is, at least for the moments when he acts more heroic, he definitely is on par with Mario in those basking in the heroics as much as anything. But when it comes to characterization, the other characters, specifically the side characters, including Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong, have seen a dramatic change when it comes to their movie counterparts. No longer is Toad just the very nice and helpful and just sometimes dumb kind of sidekick. He's legitimately Mario's tour guide and actually knows the Mushroom Kingdom a lot much more, including a lot of other places. He has a lot of expertise and he knows how to handle himself in social situations far much better than a lot of other characters can.
Huh?
Okay, so they're messing with you, and I don't like it.
Princess Peach has also taken a noticeable turn from her more airhead-like personality in the games to a more boss attitude type of heroine. She definitely is above the average damsel in distress and doesn't exactly need a lot of saving within this film, which honestly made a lot of people question, how could you have a Mario movie where Princess Peach isn't being saved? But for what we got, it's much better. I prefer trying to save my younger brother over some damsel in distress any day of the week. And plus, within the context of this world and how its power-up system works, and with the fact that Princess Peach was borderline raised here, it makes sense why she's so capable and protective of her ability to actually combat anything that happens in this world. The Toads are like her family, so of course she'd actually train herself to make sure that she can protect her kingdom. I don't know if a lot of you realize this, but there's not really many times that we get princess characters that actually are badass and actually take a priority over the protection of their kingdom and their people more than it is, I guess, of their status and their wealth. But we got somebody specifically for that. We have Bowser, who pretty much borderline is kind of the same as his much more video gamey counterpart, except with the added tagline of SIMP. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for anything, or at least censored for what I'm about to say right now. Throughout the entirety of the film, I was constantly rooting for Bowser, because I find Princess Peach absolutely adorable and attractive in every sense of the word. To some weird extent, I didn't want Bowser to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom, but at the same time, I can't help myself but actually agree with Bowser in the pursuit of Princess Peach's heart, regardless to how embarrassing his attempts were.
I guess love really makes a guy come out of his shell.
He's like a Saturday morning cartoon villain, added on and sprinkling with the fact that this is from the same studio that created Despicable Me. So they're very good at creating very hilarious, but very humanized and terrifying villains. On one moment, he can be comedic, but on another angle, he could absolutely be threatening. And that I really enjoy about this kind of villain. But honestly, it's really funny. Where Toad is the most socially aware kind of character, yeah, Bowser just truly isn't and doesn't understand the concept of no. And when it comes to his kingdom, his henchmen are all just henchmen. They're not even considered really citizens in that matter when it comes to his kingdom in correspondence with Princess Peach. Even in correspondence with the Donkey Kong Kingdom. We don't really spend much time there, but we can see that every single person, or at least every single monkey or ape, has something going on. While this was especially true about the Toads, that they basically garner every single situation in regards to their society, every single Toad is just simply not a fighter. Even the Knights probably couldn't stand up against a fair fight when it comes to the Koopa Troopas, including even the Donkey Kong Kingdom in itself. And also, it seems that the Donkey Kong Kingdom actually preserves a large majority of the power within every single kingdom or world that this Mushroom Kingdom inhabits. It's a very small detail, but even the Bowser Kingdom utilizes carts that look like they were also made by the Donkey Kong Kingdom as well, basically portraying that the Donkey Kong Kingdom is definitely a third party in regards to their status and wealth and their placement in the world. But of course, they actually prioritize not only their safety and civility, but also their protection and ability to fight, which would probably make sense for why they were more keen on giving their army to Princess Peach rather than Bowser, since from the looks of it, Bowser has no ability to actually make sure that his civilians are probably living within the best kind of peace. Because from what we've seen, we see that the heights of the Donkey Kong Empire is basically Cranky Kong's son, Donkey Kong. Don't ask me why he's the most important Kong of them all, he just, I don't know, is? And perhaps one of the biggest reasons for why Donkey Kong is so strong and healthy is most likely because of his diet. Now, it's obvious that he eats a fair share of bananas whenever he can get his hands on them, but also, due to the fact that this video is sponsored by Siko No, he also partakes in the occasional Mexican food as well. He doesn't do it on screen in the movie, but he definitely does it off screen, I'll tell you what. And he definitely gets a burrito every chance that he gets. I mean, come on now. In every single power-up block that Mario punches, he's getting something, right? Like, this was in the movie 100%, am I correct or am I not? He's sort of portrayed as the Donkey Kong Kingdom's champion of all else. Basically, he's the kind of guy that never loses up until Mario absolutely swooped the dust with his little bunky butt, making him a contentious rival for Mario, which actually makes sense, since Mario was not the first. It was genuinely Donkey Kong, and hell, the game that had Mario first in it was Donkey Kong. It was called, well, yeah, Donkey Kong. It makes sense that these both would be potential rivals with one another, and whereas Donkey Kong surely does have the strength to back up anything that he says, well, Mario just simply has the capabilities of just never giving up and never quitting. It makes them both have a lot in common, especially on par with the fact that they both seek approval from their father figures, but you can bet when they both team up, they are absolutely a powerhouse that just cannot be stopped. But of course, throughout all these dynamics, the only characters that honestly don't get enough screen time with each other is probably Toad and Donkey Kong, Toad and Bowser, Donkey Kong and Bowser, and hell, even for the very most, well, Kong and Princess Peach. Of course, all of this is done to make way for the very most important dynamics, but hell, it does suck that you never really get these kind of interactions between the characters just to see something new. I mean, hell, even Luigi doesn't really get all that much character interaction from the main cast, and only does with Bowser, but that's at a very crucial point where he's captured. Which, might I add, actually adds a lot of value to the comedy of this entire movie. But if we want to discuss the things that honestly haven't even been written in stone yet, there is the potential for other Mario characters from the video games to appear in later entries. And yes, even a green dinosaur. At least represented within the statement that Princess Peach doesn't exactly know where she's from, alluding to the idea that she could be from a far off distant planet in another galaxy. Or, you know, she could just be a human being from Earth and Mario could have just told her that like right away, but that just ruins the mystery, doesn't it? Either way, after the touch of this film, let's hope that the power is endowed within the sequel.